Yeah, good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Morning,
Yeah,
sir.
good morning, everybody. Back here with
Good morning, sir.
yeah, good morning. Back here with a lesson that after completing the module one. In the module one, we have gone with a theoretical concepts. That is how the mobile application development is important in this particular business world we had discussed, and then we have gone with the different sections in a module one. That is first we have studied understand the mobile user, how to understand him means how the mobile user will be there and what he wants and where he will be available and how he needs our application, how where he will work with our application and what is the behavior of that particular user, different gestures of a user, how we have to make a user to attract to our particular app. This and all we have discussed under that particular section. Coming to the next section, different design patterns, understanding the design user design patterns we have gone with, and we have seen for particular application, mobile application, which type of a pattern is needed, why only that pattern is needed, and how the different information means how the patterns will be fixed, means how the home screen should be there and how the front screen should be there, how when to use a flash thing, what should be the font size and all these things we have discussed. Especially I can say like this, the pattern design is one of the important section in this particular module one. Why? Because almost all we have discussed starting from a screen size and starting from an icons and just a minute. Hello. Yeah, Madhu. Yeah, so that is the one thing which we have discussed today, especially why that is important. I'm telling you that we will take as a designer, we will take a decisions with the base of that particular design patterns and there, starting from a font size, background colors, and flash screens where to use, iconic pictures, where the button should be used, where the label should be used, and storyboards. Everything we had discussed on that particular thing, and finally we have you have did an assignment based on that particular storyboards for an placement training. So all these concepts we have discussed at that particular point. And then coming to the another one is understanding the different tools which has been used for a mobile interface. Before that, we had understood the platforms. What are the mobile platforms which are there, like Android and we have discussed with the iOS, and we have discussed how iOS will be there. What are the standards and all that we have discussed, and coming with the BlackBerry, and that we have discussed Windows Phone 7, that is WP7, which we have discussed. So all these platforms we have discussed and what are the standards and where you can get a standards, the link which have displayed in a PPT. So that and all we have understood. And then coming to next thing is what are the interface tools which we are going to use. That means to craft a particular mobile application. That means when raw wood has been given for a crafting of one particular doll or one particular craft, you need some tools. So what type of tools you should need, and when what type of tools should be used, and what are the innovative methods which you can apply in that particular tools and all. So that we had discussed in a interface tools, understanding that particular topic. So coming to these all things we have discussed in a module one. So now we are stepping into the module two. So what actually module two is? So I'll share the PPT now. Yeah, especially module 2 will cover the CO2, that is develop an applications using SDKs, frameworks and toolkits, the basic applications which we are going to do. So that is an course means that is an outcome of this particular model which you can see. So coming to the unit 2 here, getting started with Android programming. So what is the main goal of this particular lecture is the lecture intends to introduce the key concepts behind and what is Android. First we'll study what is an Android operating system and how the Android architecture will be there, and based on that how we can prepare an applications. So because of that, knowing the operating system on which we are making our applications to be deployed, so that we should know first how our operating system is and how our operating system different applications will work inbuilt, what are the inbuilt applications, what will be the structure and all, and what are the different evolutions of our Android, that and all we are going to discuss. Obtain the required tools. Then what are the tools you need to develop an Android app? That is, I can say like this is SDK tools, what you need, Eclipse, what you need. According to the syllabus, these things is there for you. Means with the Eclipse coding only, you can do the coding activities and intents. Means what? First we'll go with a main activity page, and in a main activity page, what are the things you can put and what are the intents you can take to produce further. So getting to know the Android user interface. So starting with an action bar in this model, we'll start and we'll see how this action bar will works as a user interface that we are going to see. What are the outline of this particular model is what is Android, outlining the required tools, anatomy of an Android application, components of an Android application, activities utilizing the action bar. Now coming to one by one a topic, what is Android? First we'll see what Android is. Introduction will start. So Android is a Linux-based platform for mobile devices. Especially Android, it has been developed on. It's an operating system which has been platform which has been developed based on a Linux-based platform which has been developed only for mobile devices. In a first objective, it has been developed like that. So Android is an operating system. It will act like operating system. It will act like a middleware, and it's having applications. Software development kit also is there of that SDK. Which kind of mobiles you are going to implement this particular Android today's is smartphones will have can be implemented with an Android operating system. Tablets are there, and e-readers are there, and Android TVs. This is the latest one which has been introduced in the market. So AMI is one of the company which has been introduced this particular Android TVs. Even you can go with an Amazon and these things you can see the Android smart TVs which will work on the internet base. So that is a one Android TVs which has been introduced there. Android operating system will be there, and Google Glasses, and still many are there where you can implement this particular Android. So one thing what you have to observe here clearly is Android is an operating system, and it will act like a middleware also, and it will act like applications also. Means both the ways. Means Android can be used in different ways. So it has been developed on a free open source software, that is a Linux, and Android is also free open source software which you can download from on websites, and you can add your components. Development kits will also be there within a SDK. So that is a one thing. Now we will see the different versions of an Android and how Android has been changed its different versions starting from 2005. The first thing is 2005. Google buys Android from the Android Incorporation. Means from there it has bought that particular Android 2005. So 2005 onwards, Google had a proprietary over on Android. 2006, Open Handset Alliance, that is OHA, created for open standards for mobile devices. Partners of OHA, who are those partners? Means they made one particular forum and have created one particular open handset alliance. Means that particular companies will use this particular handsets hardware standards with the Android software which has been used on that first time. So that in that the Google is there, Motorola is there, and Samsung, Vodafone, and T-Mobile, etc. Who are the company partners who are there in that particular thing? And it has been done in 2006 and 2007. So in 2008, the first Android 1.0 released. The first Android smartphone G1 HTC Dream has been implemented with this particular operating system, that is Android 1.0 released version. With that, a mobile has been introduced into the market, that is G1 HTC Dream. In 2009, Android 1.1 released, and in the same year, Android 1.5. Now the names of different release versions of Android has been started. The first name is Cupcake, has been introduced of an Android version 1.5 in 2009. Not so far, Android has been came with 2005. You're not studying as a old topics like web automations and all. You are studying a new thing just which has been released some 10 years back, that you have to keep in your mind. So coming to the next thing, yeah, coming to the next thing, 2008. So Android, the next release is there 1.6, that is a donut. So it has been released. And next 2009, adding, so whenever the new versions is released, some new features will be added to that particular operating system, and it will be released. That you have to keep in mind. In 2009 again, Android 2.0, that is Eclair, has been released, and 2010 two versions has been released. One is 2.2 for you, and 2000 Android 2.3 gingerbread onwards. The name has been came popular even in customers mind also. Even people has been started asking which version of Android is there in smartphones, like that. Then in 2011, Honeycomb, the first version for devices with larger screens, has been introduced. Means from Android 3.0, now whatever apps you are developing in Android Studio latest version, that is 4.0, the apps which will be fit only from Android 3.0 onwards till the things. Why? Because in a previous Android versions and all, it's meant only for small screens, like previous mobiles which you can see a small screen. There it has been suited, but in from 2011 onwards, a big screens of a larger screen devices, like now whatever smartphones is there, more than a 4-inch, 5-inch, and 7-inch today's. So what we are using as smartphones. So that version has been introduced. In 2012, Android with ice cream sandwich of a version 4.0 has been released. It merges the 3.x tab-centric design and V2.x phone-based design into a single version. Now, actually to say, previous to this, there are different versions for a tab and phone. Now, from Android 4.0 ice cream sandwich versions, it merges both the 3.x means versions, means more than a 3-inch tab versions, into the V2.x phone-based versions. Both it will makes one particular operating system, merges one particular operating system where you can connect from tab to the mobile like that, so that you can extend your use. Then in 2012 again, Android 4.2, that is Jelly Bean, has been released. Now here, then what are the new added things has been introduced in Jelly Bean? That is a gesture mode for accessibility. Gesture mode is not there until that particular previous to the Android versions. What do you mean by this gesture mode for accessibility? That is your finger tip to open a particular app and taking your face to open a particular app, and pattern which we are using for a security purpose, means the pattern accessibility for apps and all, you can keep that particular gesture mode. Improved browser performance has been introduced in a Jelly Bean. Easy data sharing through NFS method, means it has been used, and improved camera and face recognition functionalities has been introduced in a 4.2, where a rectangle thing has been introduced to recognize a particular faces of the human beings when a camera is focused. So that thing has been introduced in a 4.2 Jelly Bean. A key line pipe which is there. So API level 17, Android 4.2. In that, again, added things, whatever are there is a daydream, screensaver customization API has been introduced. Means what are the APIs which has been, means application programming interfaces which has been introduced, which can support you to the Android 4.2 Jelly is support to multi-user environments. This is very important. You can connect with your Bluetooth to 2 or 3 4 persons. This is starting of that which we have used to play the games, especially to play the games with a Bluetooth where 3 4 members can game at a time. This is a new concept which has been introduced in Android, and today what you are seeing now using an internet, so multiple members can participate in a single particular game, like 8 ball, whatever different games are there. So you can participate like that and you can play. But for the base, the multi-user environments which has been introduced in 4.2 Jelly with this particular objective. Nested fragments for UI improvements. So here the user interface improvements has been started, and a breakups, a nested fragments has been used to expose the different user UI, means user interface techniques, which will make the user to access a smartphone very easily. So in 2014, again, 2015, KitKat version has been released. So which is another one better version, better memory management designed in such a way that it could run on 512 MB of RAM. So here memory management has become an issue with the Android development, especially in smartphones. So this version has been used to manage a memory management using buffers, using especially the virtual memory concepts. Sorry. Virtual memory concepts has been used, and paging in a memory has been introduced in this particular thing. Hangouts app upgraded, and smarter caller IDs has been introduced. And immersive mode has been introduced, interrogation with the cloud storage. This is underlined this. This is another one very important feature which has been introduced, that whenever your memory you feel more storing photos or storing some videos in your mobile and all, whenever the memory will become full, if it means it will like that. So automatically the cloud storage facility will be given, especially in a Redmi. You can see in a Redmi, it will tell you the Redmi cloud storage is there, and even a cloud storage means Google Cloud Storage also you can use, like photos, Google Photos, Google different things is there from a Google. So where if you install that particular apps, so automatically the storage will be done in that particular thing, and whatever photos, everything you have taken out, it will be synchronized in a particular cloud also. If something goes wrong in your mobile, it crashes. When you go with a flash, when you want to flash that particular smartphone or reboot from the scratch things, everything will goes off, but the data will be stored in a cloud and you can retain it back from the cloud. So this particular concept has been introduced in a KitKat, printing on the go. That means printing from the mobile. So this this feature is also introduced. That means you can connect a mobile through Wi-Fi to a printer, and you can get a printouts also. So built-in sensors has been introduced. What is this? Accelerometer sensors. That is a one particular sensor, and then finger identifying sensor. So biometric sensor, which is there. Lot of sensors like this, which has been introduced into the Android phone, and accessibility of that sensors has been done in Android 4.4 KitKat version. Coming to the next, another one improved version, that is a Lollipop, that is 5.0 and a 5.1 version of an Android in 2014. Supports several security features. Here, security later on issues when it comes is a security. So, how an improved security versions you can apply that, especially pattern recognition, PIN generation, applying a security for each and every app, how you can do so that and all for particular caller IDs and all, how security you can implement. When you go to the Android latest versions, and when you go especially for settings, and in that particular settings, when you go to the security status, so that's how a device will be there, and how it will be means taken into the consideration. Lock screen, so how you can use this particular features for a different things and all, you can see in your mobile smartphones. Already you are using that. So smart lock with the trusted Bluetooth devices. So that means how a trusted Bluetooth devices, what Bluetooth devices you want to connect. So after a pairing with a password only, it allows you to connect smart locks with different locks may be used with a Bluetooth. So guest logins and multi-user accounts can also you can create. Especially now, I'm having 3-4 Gmail accounts in my particular smartphone, where I can in turn see this and different logins also I can keep for my different users. So that's one another feature which is very useful for a customer. So application screen pinning for restricting use. So this is another one, generating a pin. So that I have told you that especially for particular application also for WhatsApp, especially you students, when I will take your mobile and when I will try to open the gallery and a WhatsApp and all, it will ask the password. And many of you, you know that how to keep that particular password. So how to safeguard that particular things from your elders, that you know that. And that's the one key feature which has been given for youngsters in this particular version. So that's a means for a gallery you can keep an pin security, restricting use, and even anything. So automatic data encryption by default will be done in the Android 5.0 and 5.1 version. Better malware protection is also introduced. That is, SC Linux enforcement has been introduced into 5.0 to protect your particular phones. So this version onward phones will alert you whenever something infected files are coming into your mobile. Any apps you are implement means installing that apps may make your set to install with a virus and all, which so now alerts will be given to you installing this particular app. So and so effect is there. So that things has been introduced. So coming to the next version, that is Marshmallow version, that is Android 6.0, the 2015, it has been introduced. Now the different features has been changed here. That is new app drawer, dumps horizontal scrolling, better UI has been used. Means different screens you can make apps here. That's like this, and the horizontal scrolling has been introduced to make your app selection, which you can see here. So this is an horizontal scrolling. So better UI has been introduced. Slight change to the lock screen. So that has been introduced. The notification areas means how you are going to get a notification, especially in a top ear. Even though your phone is locked, the notification can be viewed there. Google now on tab you can get a Google, so that is there. Dose mode, so more battery life, so you can generate taking a power saver mode into the thing. If you click on that particular option, so it will makes everything brightness, everything automatically it will controls and makes your battery life more. Sorry, inactive apps will be put to sleep too. And native fingerprint support has been introduced. Android Pay has been introduced here, like pay applications, Google Pay and all in that Android Pay. Granular app permissions for the wins and app links it has been generated, and you can create your own app environment and all using that. The simplified volume slider is back, and text selection gets a floating wind. Chrome custom tabs has been introduced, means Chrome browser has been introduced. System UI tuner, that is user interface tuner has been introduced. RAM memory manager and USB type, USB 3.10 supported in Android 6.0. The ultimate micro SD card support and many more features has been introduced in Android 6.0 version. So this is another one very important version with a lot of features which has been came into the existence. Coming to next mid 2016, that is Android 7.0, 7.1.1 nugget. So in this particular better battery life thanks to the new and improved dose mode and revamped notifications which you can use. Split screen use. This is a one very important feature which has been introduced here. The split screen. You can split a screen into different parts. So that particular feature has been introduced now. New use for the overview buttons, means how the overview buttons will be there. So buttons will not be shown to you in the beginning. Means these things here it is there, but it will not be shown to you. So you can use through the gestures. So that is there, and new use for the overview button. The better toggles is there. Revamped settings menu. So which type of menus you need. So that type of menus you can make. File-based encryptions has been introduced. Quicker system updates. Direct reboot data saver has been introduced in this particular nugget version. Coming to mid 2017 Oreo version, that is Android 8.0. Here, the picture in a picture you can keep. That is, you can mix the pictures, edit the pictures, and you can mix the pictures. Password autofill you can make. Notification channels you can, not only one notification at a time, you will get notification channels you can make, so where you will get a different notifications from different apps. So snooze notifications means notification dots will be there. New AMJ styling will be there. Smart text selection, auto enable Wi-Fi. So all these things has been introduced in a Oreo version, that is 8.0. Coming to the next, early in 2018, the Pi means 9 version has been introduced. Adaptive battery and brightness. So this concept has been introduced. New gesture navigation has been used. Means navigation through the gestures. So this is one of the best feature which has been introduced now. Why all these things I'm telling you is whenever you are developing an app, what are the things will be there in this particular Android operating system, how easily you can utilize all these features for your app, and you can make your app a better app, and better designs you can produce. The slices which you can make, the app actions, digital well-being, new accessibility menu, new screenshot shortcuts are there, enhanced security features, quick and easy screen rotations, means okay, whoever you want you can rotate your screens. So volume and sound enhancements, just shaking like that, or just having a buttons wherever is there, you can change, and the sound enhancements you can do, even notification informations you can handle. Coming to the mid 2019 version, that is Q beta version. So behavior changes that may affect your app, advanced theme options, updated sharing menu, built-in screen recording, app for foldable phones, multi split screens which you can use, security enhancements, improved biometric authentication dialogues, authentication with no user confirmation. All these new things has been introduced in Q beta version, which is a 2019. So this one version means still progress is going on in Android. Development process is always, it will be keep on going, and new things will be keep on adding up to the operating system, and better versions will be keep on coming. So these are all the versions, different versions, how it has been come along with the years, and now presently which particular operating system platform we are using in this particular moments. Coming to the next thing is Android platform versions and API levels, how you can use different API levels, cumulative distributions, and Jelly Bean, what are the components which you can especially use in that. You can see almost all in a 10 version. That are 29 API levels is there. That is application programming interface levels, which you can connect to other interfaces. Almost all 2.8% cumulative distributions. So almost all the components you can use in this particular thing. So this is a chart which you can get an information. Now coming to the Android architecture. Now this is another one very important concept, that is Android architecture. Before going to the Android app development and all, you must know the Android architecture first. Usually, what will be the architecture means how an Android platform will be there and where actually it will be placed in a smartphone or a tablet like that. You can see the first bar means first section there, that is applications. Home, contacts, phone, browser, everything is there. And you can see the last level means that's the one important, that is Linux kernel level is there, that is display driver, camera driver, flash memory driver, and binder driver is there, and keypad driver is there, Wi-Fi driver is there, audio drivers is there, and power management. Observe carefully here, leave the remaining things. Observe carefully here the last section, that is a Linux kernel. So when you have discussed the Unix operating system, there we have told like that hardware will be there and hardware will be covered by the Linux kernel, and the Linux kernel will be covered by a shell. So which we have told you, and you can recall the Unix operating system through the means shell will be covered by an user, different user applications, right? So that is application level, and shell will be there in between, and kernel will be there. And when we used to tell in a Unix also that what is the work of a kernel, that is the kernel will always interacts with an hardware. How it will interact with an hardware and all, it will sense some system calls, and it will have a lot of drivers in it, and that particular drivers makes that particular equipment to work. So this is very much important. All the file device drivers, we'll call that as a device drivers, will be there in a kernel. So kernel will be activated through the Android runtime, so which will give the system calls and all. I will tell you later. Don't worry about that. Now you can see here, when you take up a mobile here, when you open the mobile and see the hardware in it and all are the devices, and it's a combination of a different components, starting from a microcontroller in the middle, and different other components will be there like sensors, volume controller is a different part, and USB pin, that's a different part, and power supply, that's a different part which is there. Like that, different components will be there. Even Wi-Fi driver, keypads, what you are going to use, touch screen, what you are going to use, and all. So these are all the different parts which will be there, and all parts put together, and it will be connected So this particular concept, that is the Linux kernel, whatever is there, will have the device drivers in it, and each device driver will communicate with the particular device and makes the device to work accordingly of the user application. So display driver, whatever is there. So what's the work of the display driver? Resolution, how it is going to display, and all. So that things will be handled by that particular thing. Camera driver, you know everything. And flash memory driver means flash memory, how you are going to use here. And then the keypad driver, how a different keypad drivers, Google keypad driver is there, and MI keypad driver is there, like that. Wi-Fi drivers, so which Wi-Fi you are going to use latest in your mobile, and for that, how to access that Wi-Fi, you need a driver. So audio drivers, which will be there, and power management. Coming to the next step, which you can see, now you go back to the applications. Now really what applications, default applications will be there in a phone, or as a person I need a home screen. Contacts is the main, another one very important thing for me in a phone, and browser is another one very important. Rather than apps and all is a separate thing. So inbuilt, when I will purchase the phone, so these things will be default for me, that is contacts, phone, gallery, and all these things. So coming to the next application framework, what is there here? Activity manager, window manager, content providers, view system, package manager, telephonic manager, resource manager, location manager, notification manager. What actually these things is? These are the programs. Just I will tell you in a simple way. These are the programs. What are these programs? What are these programs is very simple. Activity manager is a one, means what one is a main activity program, from where you will do the different actions. Well, you want to do some different functions or different actions you want to do, so that particular program will be called. So window manager, so how a different windows you are taking out. Content providers, how the contents you are going to view. And package manager means how different packages you can call and you can connect, how different resources you can connect. Location manager, for example, different locations based on longitude and latitude, how you can track. Notifications you want to give and all. For that, you need a notification manager. So all these things are the frameworks which you are going to use. That's application framework. Through that particular program, we can handle this particular applications. Means I will tell you like this. When contacts, when I want to open, for example, I will tell you, when contacts I want to open, content providers is a one particular thing to have. Through activity manager it should work. So activity manager will first, the program will be run through the activity manager, then automatically the content providers program will run. So that particular program will come to the libraries or memory, it will go. And from there, whatever the data means, names, how the numbers will be stored, that will be taken. And how it should be displayed, it's left to the content providers. Means either name first, phone number second, like that, or only name it should display. After clicking, it should display the number. It depends. It depends on how you are making a code in a content providers. So how the way I'm telling, the flow I'm telling. So it will comes over there. And libraries, what are the work of this libraries? You can see here, Surface Manager, Media Framework, Free Type, SSL, SQLite, WebKit, and libc. All these are the libraries which are provided, means where I can, SQLite, where I can store my data, contacts, some data, photos and all I can store. And some library packages where I can use free type packages, media framework packages, default packages which I can use, and OpenGL, especially for a graphics, which I can use as an packages. Like that, different packages will be handled by this particular libraries. The main thing here is Android runtime. core libraries and the virtual machine what you are going to create, like Java virtual machine. Here Delvic virtual machine is there, which is a virtual machine which will be placed on this particular kernel. This is very much important. So one, this virtual machine, what is the work of this virtual machine means it is a one which is a communicator between your coding, means framework coding or whatever programs is there for that, and the Linux kernels, whatever is it. Linux kernels wants only a system calls in one particular way. Means here the byte-wise coding will be there in application level, especially what you are doing in a Java and XML. Am I right? So it's a byte level coding will be there. So that should be converted to the bit, and that bit level coding should be given to the Linux kernels, where the device drivers will work on a bit level coding, and this bit level coding will be introduced into that particular components, and it will start working. So for this, you need one the virtual machine in between the Java code what you have did, means what are the activities you have did, and the Linux kernel. So between that, you need one particular Dalvik virtual machine. Here we are using Dalvik virtual machine. That different virtual machines will be there which you can use. So in Android especially, we are going to use Dalvik virtual machine, which will become an interface between a Linux kernel and the other particular things. So in depth, when you go on this particular thing, architecture that is built on a top of Linux kernel, that is 2.6 version or 3 version. This is the latest version of a kernel. Even when you go with the Linux operating system, that is Ubuntu and whatever latest is there, Fedora and all, if you go, the Linux base version means kernel version, which you want, you can see in even operating system also, that will be almost all 2.6 and 3.0. And what are the advantages of this particular kernel? That is, portability will be there to compile on a different hardware architectures. So that is a portability. And what do you mean by portability? Very simple, I will tell you. So different versions of an components will be there, hardware will be there, and all. Android operating system is there. When Android operating system will boost and sits on all these versions. For example, Redmi, I can take, and different other mobiles which you will take with a different component versions. You take with other mobiles also. Not only Redmi is there in a market. Am I right? Samsung is there. Like that, different companies is having a different mobiles and different components. It can be used in that particular mobile. So your portability plays a very much important role. That's why we are going with a Linux kernel. So in a bitwise format, it will interact with almost all versions. Security, multi-process environment will be there, and power management is another one very important key feature which has been used in a Linux kernel. This power management plays a very much important role. Why I'm telling you is today how many apps are there and how many apps each person is having in his mobile, and how he is using this particular different apps in a different status. For example, morning he will get charged his mobile and he will go. Today, actually, I can say like this: maximum in a night he has to again put for an charging. Why? Because that much usage of an internet and that much usage of an power is there. In a different now, power management is another one very important thing that for these particular apps, how a power management should be done. When phone not used, what should be the power status? How the inactive of the power stages should be there. Either a full off condition it should be there. Again, he has to switch off. Again, it will become a problem. So how it should be there in a shutdown mode. So again, automatically one button clicks, it should come back to the active mode. So again, when always if it is in a lock mode, how much power it should utilize for particular apps like gaming and all. So how much power it should be utilized and how power management should be done. So this is another one important task. In coming classes and all, I will tell you in Google today in a present research of smartphones how a power management new concepts they are introducing. In the next class, I'm going to tell you that particular thing. It's out of a syllabus, but as a developers, you must understand how a power management is very important in smartphones. This is the objective behind that particular thing. Now, I will stop this particular session and session is open for questions. Any question is there, you can ask me. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions?
No, sir.
Right, answer your attendance now. One minute. Yeah. Anaga?
Yes, sir.
Anaga? Yeah. Abhilash? Abhilash? Absent? Abhilash? Absent. Akhil?
Yes, sir.
Akrut?
Yes, sir.
Anusha?
Yes, sir.
Arvind?
Present, sir.
Arifullah?
Yes, sir.
Benaka?
Present, sir.
Banu Prakash?
Yes, sir.
Bhargav? Bhargav?
Yes, sir.
Rahmatullah?
Yes, sir.
Present, sir.
Chaitra?
Present, sir.
Chandana?
Present, sir.
Karan?
Yes, sir.
Darshan?
Present, sir.
Diksha?
Present, sir.
Akshayini?
Present, sir.
Kishan?
Sir, Kishan is present.
Arshit? Arshit? ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಇವನ್ಗೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ಬರ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಹರ್ಷಿತ್ 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 ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟಾ
Present.
ಅಲ್ಲ ಹರ್ಷಿತ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟಾ
Present, sir.
ಓಕೆ ಹೇಮಲತಾ
Present, sir.
ಉಮಾ
Present, sir.
ಜಯಂತ್
Present, sir.
ದಿವ್ಯಾ
Yes, sir.
ಕೌಶಿಕ್ ಕೌಶಿಕ್ ಅಬ್ಸೆಂಟಾ ಕೌಶಿಕ್ ಕೌಶಿಕ್ ಅಬ್ಸೆಂಟ್ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಿ
Present, sir.
ಯಾರು ಕೌಶಿಕಾ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಿ
Sir. Present, sir.
ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಿ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟಾ ಕೌಶಿಕ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟಾ
Sir, Lakshmi present. Kaushik is also present, sir.
Sir, I am present. Kaushik present, sir.
ಓಕೆ ಅಮ್ಮ ಲಾವಣ್ಯ
Present, sir.
ಮನೀಶ್
Present, sir.
ಮನೋಜ್
Present, sir.
ಮೋಹಿತ್
Yes, sir.
ನಾವಲ್
Present, sir.
ನವ್ಯ
Present, sir.
ನಿಖಿಲ್
Present, sir.
ಫಣೀಂದ್ರ
Present, sir.
ಪವನ್
Sir.
ಪೂಜಾ
Present, sir.
ಪೂರ್ಣಿಮಾ
Yes, sir.
Raman? Raman? Raman?
Present, sir.
Present. Rashmi? Rashmi? Rupak?
Yes, sir.
Sai Kumar?
Present, sir.
Sai Kumar? Samir?
Present, sir. Present, sir.
Sir, Rashmi is present, sir. She have
And
network issue.
Santosh?
Present, sir.
Shadab?
Present, sir.
Sharan?
Present, sir.
Shashank?
Present, sir.
Sheetal?
Present, sir.
Shivani?
Present, sir.
Soumyashri? ಸೋಮೇಶ್ರೀ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಸೋಮೇಶ್ರೀಗೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ
Sir,
ಸೋಮೇಶ್ರೀ
she is present, sir. Network issues.
ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿ
Present, sir.
ಶ್ರೀ ವಿಷ್ಣು
Present, sir.
ಸುಗಂಧಿನಿ
Present, sir.
ಸುಷ್ಮಾ
Present, sir.
ಸುಷ್ಮಿತಾ ಬಿ ಎಸ್
Present, sir.
ಸುಷ್ಮಿತಾ ಯು
Present, sir.
ತೀರ್ಥ
Present, sir.
ತೃಪ್ತಿ
Present, sir.
ವರ್ಷಾ
Present, sir.
ವೀಣಾ
Present, sir.
Yeah, 1 minute. Yeah, I'll stop the recording. Just a minute.